What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Thompson Twins, and we're back to conclude the 1989 album Big Trash. Thank you again to Phil, as well as to Mark and others who've been commenting. And the last track, hello Luca, where'd you come from? I didn't even know you were in here. The last track is the singularly worded wild. So obviously wild, it's a descriptive term, it is an adjective. I suppose it can also be a noun in certain contexts, but the meaning is essentially the same. The idea of something which is untamed, uncivilized, primal, primordial, and perhaps more dangerous and unpredictable than things which have been domesticated or cultured or are otherwise sophisticated. So in that regard, they can have great ability, great significance, but they are not as understandable or predictable as people and or things which have a degree of refinement, shall we say. Now obviously that description is in the eye of the beholder, and of course it can be applied in ways that are hypocritical or ironic, so I do wonder what may be happening, but once again, it is a single word title, and those are basically impossible to get a wider read on, even if the idea in the word, denotation and connotation, is more or less straight away or straightforward. So let's give it a listen and see what I can catch. This is the Thompson Twins, the track is Wild, and it's their last song on the 1989 album Big Trash.
God's on your TV, the sky says I can't imagine. Be the other way around, I really don't understand. Says it's a sin to ever lose control. If you send them all my money and save my soul, yeah, they're fooling. Oh yeah, they're fooling. You can not operate, you can misbehave. Scream like a queen on some more love scene. Side, let me breathe.
number one, I've noticed on a number of albums, I mean, that is a bit of a quick fade out, whereas what I was going to say is that a lot of albums, including, or maybe especially from the 80s, the final track, a fade out ending, you can maybe not guarantee it, but it seems like a higher percentage of final tracks on a record fade out than tracks from earlier, or in earlier positions from a given record. So, in any case, yeah, I like the energy of the tune. Definitely there's like this echoic, a bit like chaotic feel, especially in the chorus where the vocals really do seem to echo or like layer over each other. And indeed, like, I think that title phrase or the phrase in the chorus is wilder than a voodoo child, is that right? And so, yeah, like, saying let's get wild, it's like a prescriptive entreaty or command, and in that regard it doesn't sound like someone's recoiling from something that is wild but trying to embrace it, whether that's like part of our own nature, part of the nature of a couple people or whoever is like in the song's story specifically. But yeah, I don't quite know what to make of it. I caught bits and pieces, and part of it was because it was a bit echoed and like layered with the vocals. But yeah, it sounds like it's embracing the wild and saying, let's not go, just barely put our foot in that pool. Let's dive in and go wilder than a voodoo child. So yeah, I feel like there's an embracing of whatever nature that means. In any case, yeah, like less characteristically Thompson Twins, meaning there aren't like some crazy percussive rhythms and drums or percussive sounds that I'm not even sure what's making them. It feels more or less like a straightaway, like, if maybe a bit edgy, but like pop rock tune. But I say that in a good way because I did enjoy it, and I feel like it's a nice end to this record, even if it's less like what I think, the sound that they're most known for from like earlier albums. So yeah, ultimately a cool record overall, and definitely, from what I understand, comments that have been made, they weren't seen as like maybe as impactful by this point in their career as they had been when they were a trio and, having hits like Hold Me Now and so on. But I find a lot of compelling aspects in this, like album and song specifically. So yeah, it's, again, like a kind of raucous pop rocker with some interesting, like, echoic or sort of disorienting feel to the vocals and the sonics. I do wonder about the lyrics, so please do let me know. Once again, big shout out to Phil. I don't remember what is next in the discography, but I'm sure it's waiting for me, so we'll be back with whatever that is next time. And Luca and I, if I can get her just to relax, yep, we will see you next time. Peace.